Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson. A new movie hitting theaters is bringing more attention to sex trafficking in a way you would never imagine. Take a look.
Who is this?
That's my daughter, Q.
Oh, that's Lemon Drop. That's Jedediah Creed look.
It's my lemon drop. She's special.
What you know about her?
You can't go around town with love every day.
If you're not helping the community, then best to believe that somebody's out there hurting it.
Did you want something, Daddy?
And joining us to talk about the new movie, Return of the Mac, is the star, Dejuan Ford. Dejuan, thanks for joining Daily Flash.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Let's start with this question. Dejuan, what is Return of the Mac all about?
So Return of the Mac, we use elements from the original Mac, the 1973 film, but we added our own twist to it. So yes, there's the story about the pimp, but also we make the transition and we shift our focus more so towards human sex trafficking. So it's a story about a father. He was incarcerated for 10 years, and when he gets out, it's a whole different lifestyle, and he becomes it leads him to a mission to save his daughter from the same stuff that he was doing prior to him being incarcerated.
This is interesting, Dejuan, because of the fact that just recently in Florida, they rescued about 60 missing kids. And a lot of times this actually happens. Now, while this story doesn't necessarily goes down the exact same way, human trafficking is a huge issue happening in the United States, and it being a major theme in the movie. Were there any moments that you actually connect with, maybe like on a personal, even a professional level?
Well, I mean, fortunately for me, I've never, or no one close to me has experienced that. I've heard stories, and things of that nature.
Right.
But for me, I did a lot of research on human sex trafficking, and of course, we see it all the time and in the media. So I thought it was an issue that we really had to touch on, because a lot of people think human trafficking is just, you walking down the street and somebody snatch you up.
Right.
Really. The reality is, it's done in a lot of different ways. And people, they use social media, they use their power. We see it a lot, with celebrities nowadays in the news. So there's just a lot of different ways that our women, get caught up in that human sex trafficking.
Dejuan, your character comes back from serving time. How did you prepare for your role as someone who has to find their place in a world that's kind of moved on without them?
So I just as I mentioned earlier, I did a lot of research. I talked to some individuals that, did time, as well. So, for me, and kind of becoming that character, it really, you have to go there mentally, right? If you wanted to come off as being real, it was tough. We had a 13-day shoot. And at the end of that shoot, I was really drained, just kind of dealing with, the stress of that character. So it was a very challenging role for me. But, I think I executed it to a T. I've been getting a lot of good reviews on it.
You look good.
Oh, thank you.
We're looking at the
You
video.
look great, yeah.
Yeah, you look great in this video. All right, okay, so I hear Return of the Mac. If I could just be blunt here, Return of the Mac, I'm thinking, this is about the dudes, hooking up with women and, and macking, like what we know. But that is nothing really what the message of this is, which I appreciate. There really is a father-daughter dynamic, and it's right there at the heart of the story. Was it like to build that emotional connection on screen? Was it difficult? Did you think about your own family? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so that piece was really difficult, and then I have several scenes where Clifton Pyle and I, shout out to Clifton, he's a great talent, and he's a great big brother, great mentor. But, we had several scenes, and I actually got pretty emotional, because I have a daughter, she's 10 years old. Time is flying, man. I remember when she was a little baby, but now, she's going into middle school, she's out. So I use my own, father instincts, and having a daughter and kind of taking that side and applying it to that character. And, So like I said, it was a very, very emotional role. It took a lot out of me, but I definitely, took some real life daddy-daughter, scenarios, and I applied it to the film.
I think it's going to hit close to home for a lot of parents based on your experience and how you experienced it making the movie. What do you want families who might be impacted by the justice system to take away from your movie?
Ultimately, you have to be conscious of the decisions that you make, and that's real life. That's in the movie, however you want to put it. My character made some decisions. The mother of my child made some decisions, and it really created a reality for our daughter that kind of put her in that system and made her open to human sex trafficking. So really, just be conscious of the decisions that you make. You're not only affecting yourself, but you are affecting a lot of people around you.
You might not have gone through this through real life, but of course we do know that art imitates life and vice versa sometimes. A message you want to say now, not only to the girls, but maybe even the fathers out there watching.
So I mean, fathers, the greatest ability is availability. Be there. Even just throughout the film, my character, he's so tunnel vision and so focused on his goal. He didn't really think about, a lot of his blind spots, so even after, he was released from prison, his main focus was trying to rescue his daughter, but he was doing a lot of things that could get him back in prison. And he didn't realize, hey, I'm doing whatever I need to do to get my daughter, but whatever you're doing might get you back locked up, and your daughter's going to be stuck in that same situation.
Amen.
So really just be conscious of the decisions that you make, be available, listen, communicate.
Great story. Thank you so much. For more on Return of the Mac, sorry to cut you off there, head to our website, dailyflashshow.com.